Welcome, everybody. It's a very special edition of Rated R Planet. We'll get right into that after the pun of the day. Hey, Jacob, what if angels were trying to invade Mars? What would it be called?
If angels were trying to invade Mars.
Because, right, we're going to Mars. Isn't that the whole idea here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, we're going to Mars, but these are pigs, not angels.
Angels were trying to get to Mars.
I give up. What is it?
We're going to Harp Planet. We're going to Harp Planet.
Harp Planet. Nice.
Welcome to Rated Harp Planet. So I had one in my head, and it was actually ARP, which was stuck in my head as a Radiohead song, and then it's just a very niche Radiohead song. And I was going to ask you, like, do you like Radiohead? And then I figured it'd be better if you're like, no. And then it was just way too far out there. So I went for Harp today, Harp Planet. Anyway, it is Jacob's birthday yesterday, right? Today? I thought it was yesterday.
Today is my birthday.
I screwed it up again.
No, that's okay, because so did the man's.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Well, cheers, Jacob. Cheers to your birthday.
Thank you.
So I know you went on a hike today. Are you all a big hiking crew? Big hiking family?
Yeah, I mean we have been, and then obviously COVID made it even, I guess, worse, better. You know, what did you do all summer last summer? What was there to do? I mean, we live in Kansas, so we don't have like mountains, but there's tons of just nothing areas where you can just go have a great hike. So we drove like an hour and a half away. The original plan was to drive like 3 hours, do like a whole long day trip. And then it was like, that was a bad idea with 3 kids, including an 11-month-old. So we only went an hour and a half away. Google Maps let us down, took us to the back employee entrance to where we wanted to go, where we could not get in and had to drive like 20 minutes all the way around. But we found it, caught some frogs, threw some rocks into a pond. Kids loved it, had a great time, came back, and just been chilling since.
So I grew up in the Mid-Atlantic, which is not the Northeast, which is not the South, but like I grew up in Maryland.
Go Terps.
See, he gets it. So when I moved, I went to grad school at Florida State. And so when I went down there, people were talking, just the time frames of drives just changed. So when you just like casually we're going to take a 3-hour drive, which is 6 hours round trip. Like I kind of felt that in my soul when I moved down south, because it's just everything is literally hours away versus Maryland. I'm 25 minutes from DC, 30 minutes from Baltimore, 15 from Annapolis, an hour and a half to Philly. Like it's just crazy where I was compared to, Kansas.
Well, but I mean, I sort of had a similar but opposite experience, because I say go Terps. I am a Terp. I grew up on Long Island in New York, and I went to Maryland for undergrad. So that's about a 4-hour drive. Because like my senior year, I was driving back and forth so much. I met my wife in New York because she was in school in New York while I was a senior in Maryland. And so like I kept doing the drive all the time. It's like 4 hours kind of felt like 30 minutes because you just get so used to just straight up I-95.
Yep. Take the Tappan Z. Are you a Tappan Z guy?
No, I take the not the Tappan Z. Which one would I take?
I don't even know. That's the only one that I know because it's a wild name.
No, there's like 4 bridges and like 3 tunnels. There's a ton. I'm just blanking on. I'll take the Throgs Neck. No,
that's right.
I think
that's
so.
right.
No, I
you
take
the Cross Island.
There are so many highways, and I've been not living in New York for like 6 years now. So
Congratulations.
I could probably do it. I could probably in my sleep like just do the drive, but remember the names of things, like that's gone. I at least remember my kids' names instead.
That's see, this is a decent segue into actual Rated R Planet content, because we both have kids. I have 2, you have 3. We discussed briefly. We don't have to go into this too deeply if you don't want to. I don't care, but we'll deal with it on time. I'm changing my diet because I got blood work taken and I have elevated cholesterol. I honestly haven't even looked at the number. It could be super high, but it's fine. We're making changes. We're doing walks every morning. On the weekend, at least, we're doing a walk, an hour-long walk with my 8-month-old, which is great. And we're doing a best ball draft while we're doing it. 2 birds, 1 stone. It's awesome.
Draft and walk.
It's not too bad but the glare gets kind of annoying after a little bit, but who cares? But I've changed my diet, eating less snacks. So I told Jacob, like, I feel dumber today. It also could be a long weekend with the kids, which, as you might, luckily we send our kids to daycare. I don't know if you do that or not. For us on Sunday nights, we're just over it. So this is like an extra Sunday on top of everything. So it's just crazy. So I'm just dumber, which is ties into forgetting stuff, which is tying into our planet stuff. Where let's recap the inventions that we had this week. We had oil. That was like overnight after we streamed on Sunday, I believe. It was early Monday morning. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember,
right?
but it was.
Exactly.
I think that was the first one that people got use of the Dangy Wing special text alert.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I think it did work. It worked for Hambo, and I believe.
Didn't he get like an epic?
Yeah, because he was up going to the bathroom at 4 a.m.
Yes,
that's good.
Yeah, he said that he would not have gotten it. He signed up for the text, would not have noticed, except that he went to pee like an old man at 4 a.m. and checked his phone, saw the text alert, and went and crafted.
There you go. Plus EV to pee at 4 a.m. Next up, quite obvious, we had salad. That makes sense. Oil, salad. When I eat salad, I have a vinaigrette that I use. I've used it for literally over a decade.
Oil. It's not like crude oil.
In my head, yeah. It was in my, and I don't know. This is a question that you might have insight into. Do you think the images they choose have an impact on the utility of that item? As in like oil,
I think it does.
Crude oil versus like olive oil.
I absolutely think that there is a hint, not necessarily a big one, but like for instance, bone. It looks like a picture of a dinosaur bone. It looks like a dinosaur skull. And we know we've got dinosaur coming up later on the chart. We don't have bone invented yet or dinosaur, but I absolutely think that's a clue that bone goes into dinosaur. And crude had a picture of like a crude barrel, right? Like a barrel of oil, as opposed to oil, which I didn't look at the picture, but beforehand I was like, well, what kind of oil are we talking about? There's so many different options. And then when it was invented and salad was right afterwards, I took a back look at the picture and I was like, oh, of course, this isn't like oil, like gas, crude, petroleum stuff. This is oil like olive oil, like you put on a salad.
That's right. That's right.
So I definitely think that there's a hint in there.
Which is good because we've had one invention attempt and we were very close. Not we. I'll give Jacob the credit. Jacob was very close. This time I had a bigger part than zero in narrowing down what we're doing. And I'm very confident. I'm overconfident. But to be overconfident, it's like there's like a 10% chance that we're actually inventing versus like a 0.1% chance. So I'd stick around, ladies and gentlemen, for the end of the stream. It's going to be electric. Other things that were invented, we had string, and then string went into piano, and we had cell, and then ozone. So I think cell is the most interesting one for me. The problem is cell is expensive. So cell going into other things, isn't cell expensive? I'm pretty sure.
It was like it was almost 6 million. I was only able to do it. I had just enough Aether to do it because I already owned a bacteria. And it was almost 5 million on the dot for me because I had the bacteria. So yeah, I was close to 6 million. And I got a comment. So, there's that. Everyone else is in the Discord going, I got epic, I got rare, I got at least an uncommon. And I'm like, nope, just common.
But at this point, when Aether's down so much, doesn't really matter. You're making almost zero anyway. So who cares?
Right, which is a great segue into what I kept pushing, which is now is the best time to get started. And here's why. I did some math, Tom. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a mathematician.
You didn't even tell me about the math.
Oh, the basic math, you can run the numbers yourself. I could be wrong. But my math tells me that if and when there is an invention, it is profitable. It is instant profit, even if you get a comment, and here's why. You can sell your NFT, right? Let's say, prices are down, but they're still close to 2x. If you sell for a common NFT for 2x wax at current Aether prices, you can then buy back everything and possibly more for what you did. So you take, let's say it's sell. It's 6 million Aether. You get 6 million Aether. You spend it. You get a common like I did. It's like 700 something 700 something,
Ether per
stakeable
hour.
ether. Yeah, ether per hour. You can sell that for about 2 times that in wax. So that would be about, let's call it 1,400. And then at these prices, you take that 1,400 wax, and that's going to get you more than 6 million ether right back. So I didn't do that. I haven't tested the theory, but I'm pretty sure my theory is sound that if you get an uncommon or better, you should probably just keep it and stake it. But if you get a common, you can sell it and it's still worthwhile. So in the future, I'm going to, if I don't have it, I'll buy on the pump. Like this pump, right? What's it going to pump to? If there's an invention, it's barely going to pump. It'll be worth paying for to get the ether to craft, even if I just get a common.
Yeah, my current issue is I'm extremely wax poor. I'm trying to get into, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm trying to get into a couple other projects, spend some wax. It's tough scene. So it might be going deadhead back into wax. That might be my move personally, which is a lot of wax. But then I can play it in the chat. Then we can be touching Jeff Opens Card's ankles in the wax world. So yeah, that's I like that idea, Jacob, and I like that idea of basically I've mentioned it before chatting, but wax is my stable coin as it comes into like Aether world. So that moves your Aether value, which was that stakeable NFT, over into wax. But let's not undersell our common NFTs here, because we are giving away a common NFT just before the invention attempt. So we are crescendoing. We start with how fat I am with the cholesterol. I know I'm not actually fat, but the cholesterol, whatever. It was just a joke. And we're going to crescendo up to giving away 125 Aether per hour.
That's not bad. That's not nothing. That's,
it's not nothing. And it's just
it's a good start.
The theme. It's the theme. It's fireworks, 4th of July. It was that or alcohol was my plan, because that's
I like fireworks better. The whales will look at that and be like, what does that do? I can maybe wipe my ass with that, but for a newbie, for someone who's not big in the streets yet, I would definitely that's a good start to your collection.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's free. We've
free is free.
By the way, I'm not yet able to do streams and then compile lists of CSVs, etc. So the registration's closed. If I missed you, we'll do another giveaway later on. So don't whine to us. So
yeah, and afterwards we'll just have to figure out who's we'll have to track down the winner and get their
no, they come to us. They DM me, get me on Twitter, Dangy Wing, and then I'll send it over.
Yes,
within 12 hours.
You'll need to send Tom your wax address, because otherwise we don't know how to get it to you.
Your wham. Why don't we just call them whams?
What does wham even mean? Like, why is it? It's a wax address, but it's not wham. I don't know.
It's a good question. But I'm gonna go with wham, maybe even whammy if we're feeling funky. So Jacob, you I was kind of hoping you would do it, but you put on your investigator's hat, and I wanted you to get a little newsboy hat with some glasses and a little spiral notebook, because you got deep into the streets. You were in a Q&A stream with Bonz, and you watched it and you paid attention. You took some notes. You were there. So what did you learn?
Well, let's start with, we do have some competition here now. It's not just us. They must have gotten inspiration from us, because when we started this, there was zero RPLANET content out there, like zero. And now there's 3 streams. There's the official AMA that Bonz is talking about doing once a week. Bonz and I don't know the other guy's name, but they do it. And that's what I'm going to go over, because I did watch the replay and I did take notes. And it was actually hilarious, because someone must have recorded it, because I watched it not live. But at one point, Bonz says, yeah, we didn't figure out how to record this on Zoom, so it's not recorded. So you're missing out if you're not watching this live.
Okay, you are hurting my bags by spreading FUD, but it can be hard to do Zoom stuff. I actually found it as well, and it was labeled like backup Zoom recording.
Look, I'm not saying it's easy or hard. I'm saying it was ironic and hilarious that I'm watching this after it was being recorded, when he said that it wasn't being recorded. So, but someone
Yeah.
else could have done it. It could have definitely been that Bonz did not figure out how to record it in time, and someone else figured out how to record it, because it was also in the middle. Like, it wasn't the whole thing. It was like the back 30 minutes to an hour. But then also, Luffy, is it Luffy? Luffy and the other guy who run the Discord, they also started doing a pure like invention attempt stream. They do giveaways.
Yeah. Oh, I was watching that today. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. But like, they obviously got the inspiration from us, because we started let's do a stream, let's talk about our planet, and let's try and invent shit. And like, that's literally what they're doing. They just, they head up the Discord, so they obviously already have a following, and we're just two random dudes who know each other through a Discord. So, we got to build up our following a little bit. It's a little bit going to take a little more time, more grassroots work.
For the scrappy underdogs, if you will.
Yes. Under the dog. Have your kids seen Luca yet?
No.
The new Pixar movie?
I'm an incredible nit, so I don't pay for streaming. We don't share passwords from my in-laws. We don't do that.
I'm not going to say that that's not what I do, but I'm also not going to say that's what I do.
So I had a family member show up, and they had a different streaming package or cable package, and so that got us Nick and Nick Jr. So that got my daughter tied on a few Nick Jr. shows, and then they changed their login, and so now I have to explain to a 3-year-old, like, no, so here's how streaming services work, and like cable authentication. She just wants it, so we just go to YouTube and get the crappy ones from YouTube. But
all right, well, YouTube's good and free. But yeah, so that was just a line from there. Anyone who's watched Luca, not only is it really a good movie, I enjoyed it, and so did my wife, and my kids, of course, too. But also, we then watched the honest trailer for it, and it was so spot on, hilarious. I'm not sure I've seen a better honest trailer.
I love it. So, other question, then we'll get into the Bonz drops. Like, I want to make it really epic for whatever reason. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just funnier. So I have a friend who they're expecting a kid soon, and they're going to name their kid Luca. So do you think this show Luca is going to have enough legs to cause a disruption to this person's life? For example, our neighbor is a great grandmother, elderly woman named Elsa. That would be a problem right now for that kid. Do you think Luca is going to reach that level? No,
I think Luca is a great character, and it's a good movie. But it didn't have so much fanfare. It's not even one of those like Raya and the Last Dragon was one of those fanfare Disney Plus, or not just Disney Plus, like premium. We have to pay the $30 for it and everything. This is just like they sort of snuck it in one day, and it's like, oh, by the way, guys, there's another Pixar movie out there. So I really don't think it's going to take off like that. But he's a good kid. The character named Luca, he's a good kid, so it'll work out well with these guys. But let's get back on topic, Tom. Do you have the picture?
Yeah, I'm queuing it up. We're zooming in.
So while he does that, that's the big news, is that if you want to load up on Ether, if you want to load up on your minerals, now is the time. If you want to buy land cheap, if you want to buy NFTs cheap, I truly believe that this thing is going to moon July 10th or later. If you take a look at this picture, these are what the robots are going to look like. It's been shared around a bunch of times. If you haven't seen it, well, look at it now. But if you have seen it already, I'm not surprised. This is the working UI, and there's going to be multiple different robots. There's going to be a ton out there. And we all knew this invention element thing was only phase 1. And at some point, it's not going to be any part of the game apart from just crafting and generating FTs to help fuel your land, to help upgrade things and build robots and upgrade them. And eventually, this is going to be like robot fighting. Phase 2 is building robots. And then eventually phase 3 is not only fighting robots and like battling. I mean, basically the story is, right, the pigs have escaped their human captors and they built a spaceship and they're going to Mars. And once they get to Mars, they're going to settle on Mars. That's the land. And then they're going to discover that they're not alone on Mars. So they need to fight the natives on Mars, the native aliens, and they will. So that's why they're going to build robots, and they're going to need to fuel the robots in order to take over Mars from whoever's living there. But the teaser was that Bonz gave us that that's not it. Eventually, they're actually going to go to Saturn, and they're going to be leaving, and there's going to be a whole new thing. There's going to be phase 2, phase 3. I mean, there might even be a phase 4. This is going to go a lot of places, and I think that this game is going to get really good and really fun. And they were hinting, basically what Bonz and the other guy whose name I don't know on that stream was saying is that don't be surprised when building these robots costs millions upon millions of Aether. Like, we've heard the number of 5 million to upgrade land, but that's just like upgrading. I mean, how many minerals, how much are you going to need in order to build a robot, all the different pieces? And you can see from there, I mean, there's tons of different kinds of robots, and they're probably going to have different skills, and then you're going to be able to use FTs to upgrade the robots even after you've upgraded the land. So there's going to be a ton. And they said specifically, don't be surprised when you need millions upon millions of Aether. So a week ago, I was telling you, we need to save our planet by killing the supply of Aether temporarily. These devs, these developers, they know what they're doing. They are doing that here. They are going to make it that all this pent up supply and the fact that there's no demand, I mean, demand is going to go up through the roof to the moon, and demand and the supply is going to go right back down to the floor once these robots get released. The date they gave was July 10th. So that's 5 days from now. I don't know if that's when it's actually being released or just the official announcement is coming out, but stay tuned, because if you want to really get into this and you're not wax poor like most of the rest of us, now is absolutely the time to get in and get as much Aether and minerals and land as you can ready. And I'm sort of banking on that because, you know, my value on RP Whale has tanked along with everyone else's. So I'm really hoping that the fact that I've got a nice amount of land is going to really end up being good for me financially.
So a couple questions. I don't know why I just took that off the screen because I have a question about the droids. You mentioned, I don't know what the link is between Aether to droids. Like, do you think they're going to go through this a similar path where you have to craft elements or craft an arm or a blade to make a helicopter, or is it going to be they just cost 120 million Aether or whatever? So
what it seems to be is that, from what I understand, the way the game goes is you stake NFTs, you get Aether. You start with Aether. Then that builds the FTs. You actually need the FTs, not Aether. Aether does not... thank you, Adam. Aether does not directly upgrade land. You need the FTs, but the FTs are interchangeable. Just like you can calculate exactly how much you're going to get in stake based upon the cost in Aether of the NFT. It's the same with the FT. So you take the Aether, you craft the FTs. Now, why we need all these elements, that they didn't make clear. That's something that I'm very intrigued to find out. Like, why would I craft shit for, you know, however many millions, or why would I craft gold or Bitcoin for 50 million Aether rather than take something that costs like $1 million and craft it 50 times? I have no idea. They haven't explained that. But the Aether is going to become FTs, which is, they said interchangeable. They said it's all about the Aether value. So why you would use different ones, again, I don't know. But that then goes to upgrade the lands, and that's how you get more minerals. And it seems to be that why the lands are so important. So there's going to be a third and final land sale, but it's not going to be until after phase 2 has been released. So that's going to drive up the cost of land and the cost of minerals. So then what we're going to see is when you're building robots, you're going to be able to sell robots. You're going to be able to, I mean, you've got Alcor for not only the Aether and Simple Market. Let's not talk about Simple Market, but you can technically, in theory, sell FTs, not just NFTs, but FTs. And then you can also obviously sell land for wax on, and you've got, you know, again, you've got Alcor also for the minerals, but you'll be able to sell the robots. The robots themselves will be NFTs. So if you're new and you don't own land, because land is scarce and completely owned and really expensive, and you don't have the minerals, you will be able to buy not just land, but you'll be able to buy robots. You'll be able to buy the minerals in order to fuel those robots, because we know that 3 minerals go to 3 different, it seems like it's species of robots. And within that, I mean, there's going to be, that's what the picture is. There's a ton of different kinds of robots. And then what we may want to do at some point, possibly next week, Tom, give a little spoiler for everyone else, or just tease up episode 4, is you and I may want to come up with some names for robots. Let's start thinking through what we want to name them. Because Bonz said in this stream, they are going to probably do like a contest or a giveaway where they're going to ask the community, what do you think these robots should be named? They're going to choose some winning names, and they're going to do like some freebie, something nice for whoever comes up with names. In addition to the fact that now you can say, hey, this robot is, the robot that Rated R Planet named. So that's something that we should also be thinking about.
That's pretty incredible. Judging by getting to know you for a few weeks now, I should come up with the really dumb ones that make no sense but might be funny, and you should come up with the real ones based upon the lore, like Dr. Rabbit Robot, Rabbitbot, something like that. Like that is, it's anchored in the reality of this world. I just refuse. Like you'll see on the bottom, there's a lore alert, just because I hate lore, and we'll get to how that's minus EV potentially for me in a little bit. But we'll see. I will happily bounce ideas off of you. But you also remember the pun from earlier, RPLANET. So yes. I'd be happy to help, but I don't know if I'll be.
I mean, like you said, you never know which one's going to win. You don't know what mood Bonz is going to be in that day. Is he going to be in a laughing, punny mood? Is he going to be in like a serious lore mood? I mean,
is it going to be like Bonz bot? Do we want to go Bonz bot like on the nose? Because Bonz bot's pretty cool. I like that as a name. Just by enough, just by itself.
Yes.
All right. So Jacob, you mentioned Jacob was able to evangelize about his bull case on RPLANET, and I agree. I can't push back too much, just because I don't know if we're going to see the highs that we saw, which is fine, but I don't think we're going to stay down this low as far as the Ether value and the account value and the general interest forever. And here's my case as to why. On top of what Jacob said. So the biggest thing for me is they're trying to speed up these inventions. They think we're going too slow. We are not incentivized enough to invent, so they want to burn through these elements. And what does that mean? That means they're very close to getting this second stage ready, because they wouldn't want us to burn through this stage unless they were ready for the second stage, or they don't know what they're doing. Those are the two options, I think, which I think they do know what they're doing, to be extremely
they've shown us time and again they know what they're doing. And to your point, right, I mean, they want phase 1 to be finished. They want there to not be more NFTs. They said it's not contingent. They're not waiting for phase 2 for phase 1 to be complete. There could be an overlap, but you are still right. Eventually phase 1 will just be done, and we'll be done inventing. But keep going.
The worst case scenario would be phase 1 is done, a week or 2 weeks goes by, and then phase 2 happens.
Correct.
That would be the worst case. Overlapping is good, I think. But and for that point, that's why they're speeding. That's why I'm excited that they're speeding stuff up, and they're speeding it up by they're going to be giving hints, and it sounds like they're not even sure exactly what the hints are yet, which is fine, because they're going to gauge those how they see fit. It could be similar to what we discussed in week 1, episode 1, which is here's the price range of the NFTs, of how much they are, which will then narrow down your choices by a lot. Or it could be other hints that they haven't explicitly shared yet. But that's the general idea. That's why they're also doing, I believe that's why they're doing these invention giveaways, just because they're trying to move things along and keep interest while we're in this. It's really just invention and then stake phase. So I am bullish long term. I am excited about the next phase. Please pump my bags. Ja, if you're in here, yes, it's absolutely the time to get in. Buy my stuff, Ja. Get my giveaway. It's free.
He did. Ja did that. I mean, I don't know if you read back. It was like the middle of the night last night, I think it was, or whenever it was. I was telling him, yes, you should come in and you should watch our show. And then he's like, yeah, so I bought these 2. They were both the same kind of rig, but obviously from different sets, because they were the same amount of Aether staking, and he paid like a huge discrepancy in price, which any expert or even, you know, amateur, but not rookie would know that like they do the exact same thing and don't pay that vastly different price. So sorry, Ja, I wish you would have told us earlier because we could have warned you. I was like, look, that price was an amazing price. That other price, not so much, but it's okay. It's still good. Like, you know,
that's right. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll get there.
But yeah, so I just wanted to add on to your point that, so I think that would be a great idea for hints to say, okay, this element until it gets invented, and they'll go like one at a time, say, okay, it's between 1 and 3 million Aether, and then that just narrows down the possibilities. Like that would be really cool. But they also talked about puzzles. They said they're going to be puzzles that you can solve, and that will give you the hints. I have no idea what those are going to look like, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about the puzzles. And that's where, even with this invention attempt, I pull in a friend of mine who's a super nerd and just loves crosswords. And he's actually a PI technically, but he does like financial private investigation. It's crazy, but his brain just loves puzzles. So I think that'll really draw him in. Like the anon puzzles, he was kind of into that for a little bit. Yeah.
I was so excited. What was that one? That someone just like, I have zero to do with anon, but someone just like posted the riddle and I just like immediately got it. And I was very proud of myself.
See, everyone, we love a puzzle. Again,
good puzzles are good.
Our planet, we can. You're doing a great job. I think you're pulling us back in. We'll get Aether to pump up once we have more use for it, and that'll be coming fairly shortly. All right, Jacob, do you have anything else on our planet that you want to get off your chest, rant about, chat about, or do you want to transition? I couldn't think of a segue to this because it's gonna be wild.
I think that unless we get questions from the crowd, which I don't think we will, I think that we can move on to the next segment. But I'm just gonna say I'm excited for July 10th to see what happens.
Yeah. So we're gonna go behind the curtain briefly. Jacob, I really appreciate that you use true show language with this show that we're doing. I love it, and I think I may have started it, and it's not me taking credit, but I just think it's interesting, like because I called it a show sheet. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But calling it a show sheet, calling it segments, I love it. It's bullet points in a Google Doc. But what is a segment but that? So, speaking of next segment, it's Jacob's birthday today. Jacob, I'm just going to speak for you now, but you can chime in if you want, of course. You're a proud Man's Coin owner. We've discussed that last stream. I am as well. We can do it. We can do a coin check. There it is.
I wanted to put it someplace where like we could see it. Oh, you know what? I think here. While you keep going, I'm gonna put.
Yeah, I'll do this. So Jacob called in a favor as part of the utilities of having a Man's Coin NFT. You can get the Mans to send you a message once a year to a cameos, essentially. So Jacob said, Tom, I'm going to call in this favor, and we're going to get the Mans to talk. And remember, Jacob's birthday is today. Today's July 5th. I haven't even watched the whole thing, but Jacob told me something might have been wrong with what the Mans did. So let's go check out.
Hey, you cannot.
You're right.
The Mans does not do anything wrong. If the Mans does something, it's for a reason.
Great point.
Yo, Jacob Cohen's my dude. What is up, Man's Coin owners? Number 135s. I hear it's your birthdays on July 4th. Bro, did you realize? Holy shit, you share a birthday with America's, dude. That's hella tight. God bless America. God bless Jacob Cohen's. And dude, you also got this new podcast, dude. You got this podcast. It's called Rated RPLANET. You do it with our dude D-Wing, another pillar of the Man's Coin community. You guys got a new episode out July 5th. I still don't know what this Rated RPLANET shit is. Is this like NFT porn? Sounds pretty tight. I hope you guys are talking about NFT porn on there, okay? All right, dudes. Have a great birthday. Eat some hot dogs. Eat some hamburgers. Grill out, bro out, chill out. God bless you. God bless America.
You know what I love about that a lot?
What?
I can't imagine the Man's going through his life wearing that tank top and that chain and the blockers inside and the hat. So I assume that the Man's has to keep up appearances. So he's got to change into this outfit whenever somebody requests this kind of deal, or he might batch them up and do multiple in a day. But thank you, Mans. We appreciate the support. and just you're incredible human. You're my guiding light, I think. And you're the goal of where I want to get. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. So Jacob, any other reaction to the man's video? I think it was spectacular. And congratulations on a new birthday. Your birthday is now 364 days away, not 365.
Apparently, I share a birthday with America. I didn't know that before, because before I thought that my birthday was July 5th, but it's not. Apparently, it is July 4th. So that's fun, because I really always I love July 4th. It's my favorite holiday, partly because it's the day before my birthday. But now it's even better because now I get to celebrate both America and myself. Although that's a good segue into what happened yesterday. First of all, yesterday morning, my son comes in, the 3-year-old, and he goes, "Hey, Daddy, it's going to be your birthday, and it's Captain America's birthday." And it's not Captain America, America's birthday. So fine, that was part A. Part B is then we've got this barbecue that my wife put on for me, where friends came, lots of drinking, all that good stuff. Started exactly when we would have done Rated R Planet, which is why we pushed it off. Plus there were fireworks, and we can see.
And it's the 4th of July. It's fine. Yeah, we can take a holiday.
Anyway, so before people showed up, we're just ready. We just, I'm cracking open my beer, getting ready for the guests to come. And my son goes, "I can't wait for America to get here."
That's really good. Do you have any idea what he means?
He thought America was a person. He's like, well, it's Daddy's birthday, so it's also America's birthday. So America must be coming because we're celebrating his birthday just like Daddy's.
I think that's awesome. That's awesome. Because for a kid, when I ask my daughter to name something, it's just syllables that don't mean anything at all. So I totally get it that the kid's great, sure, America's coming. There's a person named America, probably, that's going to show up soon. I think it's awesome.
I've got a
very exciting.
I don't know if we'll be able to see it because it's on my phone. It's not on my computer, so I can try and show it. But it's the two of us watching the fireworks together.
Oh,
he was just it was his first time, and he had just a blast. He was completely enthralled. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for the shout out.
That's right. That's right. And Johnny's doing kid duty, which is perfect. It's a perfect time to have to go when we're talking kids. My kid is a scaredy cat, and this will tie into the giveaway. But she's kind of a scaredy cat. She's a little tentative. The big accomplishment today at the pool was her walking in through the stairs, not even jumping into the pool, but walking in with her little floaties on.
That's good.
Well, that's right. It's literally baby steps. So we had sparklers, and we did sparklers during the daytime because I'm not messing with bedtime. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're not getting out of. No, there's no chance.
For sure.
No chance. So we do it in broad daylight, doing sparklers, and she just had no fear of the sparklers, which was awesome.
Nice. And
I read the box, and it said, "Not for use for children under 12." And I go, "Well, here's my almost 4-year-old. Whatever."
As long as you're using it, not her.
No, she had them in her hand, but she had full training. I said, if you want to get rid of it, if you're done with it, throw it in the driveway.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the driveway, and then nothing's going to go wrong. All right. Enough kid talk. Anything else on the mans?
Yeah. Well, the mans did point out that he hopes we're talking about NFT porn, which, we're not. This is rated R Planet, not rated X Planet.
That's right.
I don't know what X Planet would be if it comes up. I'm not sure I want to know. Maybe Crypto Babe can help with that. There's no porn NFTs that I know of. I'm sure.
Well, Lou, let me know if you want to hop in the stream. Lou, you shared one in the Discord recently that is not safe for work. If you want to chat about that, he just got one airdropped.
Oh, really? If he wants to share it, love to see it. Just out of professional curiosity, of course.
Yeah. No. It's a hand drawing of male genitalia. So it was
lovely.
That. Yeah.
But we do want to talk about. Do we want to talk about some other NFTs? I mean, we've had a lot of our Planet content today.
Yeah.
But also,
we're going to run through.
Day has been Deadhead Day and Gary V. So I don't know if you want to talk about that or if we should just jump right into the giveaway and the invention.
No. I want to quickly talk about those. So I'll play the role of that person in the movie that doesn't know the thing that lets somebody explain things to them. I don't understand Gary V. I've never been into Gary V. Jack Settleman mentioned Gary Vee first, I think, on Club Top Shot, and he's like, "Oh, I really like Gary Vee." I'm like, "I don't know who this person is. Can you explain Gary Vee to me?" I
He's
genuinely
Gary
don't know.
Vaynerchuk, isn't he? He's like
but
a famous dude. I don't know what he's famous
it's not a bit. I don't know what that. I don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not a bit.
I mean, I can explain to you as much as I know, which is like 2% more than you know. He's a dude that's famous for something. Don't know what. He's got a following. And I'm not sure which one's the chicken or the egg. Is he got a following and therefore he's famous, or is he famous therefore he has a following? Don't know. But it's pre-NFT because he was very famous. He got into the NFTs. He launched his own NFT, and everybody jumped on board, presumably, his followers. And so he today apparently is in on Deadheads, which I've been a big proponent of. I was like, I bought 5, and that's the most I bought of anything since Misfits, which was obviously a mistake. But I bought 5 Deadheads just like I bought 5 Misfits, and I was like, okay, hopefully this time buying 5 will be the right choice rather than the wrong choice. And after a huge pump today that made my sale early this morning before I woke up, a 0.18 ETH looked like chump change. I then sold the second one. I was like going to take it down. I'm like literally messaging the Discord, man, I've got to take this down because it's pumping so hard. And then I go to take it down. It's already gone at 0.399. So these 5 that I bought for 0.45 total, I sold 2 of, still hold 3, and I sold 2 for over half an ETH.
But here's a pep talk to you folks who are like, oh man, I should take it down while it's pumping. You wanted to sell it for that price. Your goal was achieved.
True.
Applaud yourself and move on to the next one. I think it's a great sale. It's higher than I sold any of mine for. And I'm happy with my sales as well, because my goal, I mean, neither of us are bad. Nope. I have 1. And I meant to go buy the floor when it was about 0.24, and then I didn't. And I blame my 8-month-old for that. Yeah. Because he was there. And that's right. But yeah, I'm still holding 1. So I genuinely, this is a meme, I know it, but I genuinely do like the art. Like us wax heads, we probably remember the Crypto Moonies. I like that art. I just bought some secondary 3D figures that go in a circle. I think it's cool. Same thing for the Deadheads. We've gone over it a little bit before. I like the metal iconography. It's up my alley. So I think I'm going to hold this one and just roll the dice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
or I'll take the $1,000 for the image. I don't know.
I'm holding 3. I'm hoping that I get at least 1 really good one long term. That's a long term hold for me. But I just checked in on the floor again. I mean, it's 0.319. Like, that's how hard this pumped. Before, I mean, it was hovering for 4 or 5 days, somewhere between 0.12 and 0.14. And now the Gary Vee effect it's up to, I mean, it's just like tripled in a day, which is crazy. Right. And that's part of the space.
So we're going for 43 minutes so far. Time flies, Jacob. You're very easy to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
We've got 2 projects that I want to get to, and then we'll do the wheel, and then we'll do the invention. All right. Yes. So the 2 projects I want to get to, we'll do the quick one first, I think, which is NFT Draft.io. So that is fantasy football on wax.
Please tell me about that, because I looked at the site for like 30 seconds and I was intrigued, but very much not understanding. So if you can tell me about it.
Okay, so Jacob, you had the right read. I had the wrong read, as this is like 6 hours later. The right read was, I don't know. Let's see. The wrong read was, here's my USD. That was my read. My read was, here's my money. And then I bought the highest.
For the best.
Well, here it's the Venn diagram, right? I got my NFT brain, I got my fantasy football brain. They're combined. Great. Can't lose. Don't care. Let's do it. So I bought the highest pack, just like Clampy. Shout out to Clampy, who's in my DMs helping me with my car. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Let's be clear. He's not helping me. I've done the stuff that he's told me, but he's advising me in my car. Anyway.
Well, I mean, we've got a great community. We help each other. We give advice. We tag not financial advice on it, but sometimes it is financial advice, but it's great.
That's right.
And we all bought a horse today. Were you in on the horse?
Gouache, we cannot, I don't want to even discuss your bags, Gouache. We'll get there. So I bought the highest. The typical thing in the NFT space, we probably all know that if you're still here, is the higher the cost, the greater the rarity is. So on the curve of the rarity of the items, you get more on the highest end of the curve, meaning you get the most highest chance of the most valuable items. So I went true ape style, like, yeah, biggest number, I'm going to buy that. Thank you. And then someone in the Discord was like, hey, that's not the best choice, everyone, just so you know. You should do what Gouache did, which is buy the next one lower. Because what the league pack does is it gets you one common of every player, we'll call it, in a league. So what that lets me do is now I get to be a commissioner, essentially, for a fantasy football league. And for those of you who have done that, it's usually a thankless job. But Clampy and I already have an idea. We have a plan. We have the seeds of a plan in place already. But what that'll let us do is run our own league, essentially. It can be a private league or it can be a public league. It can be a free league or it can be a paid league. And that's the key part there, that intersection between public, paid league, where I can then say, hey, people on Twitter, you can be in this league if you want with NFTs. Pay me $100. You 11 people, and then you're my league. I would be the 12th person in this scenario. I don't know if that has to happen. But then I'm making revenue that way by having league fees paid. So Jacob is showing these packs, which is good. Yeah. The EV ones, which Gouache, I'll just use your Discord handle, which is weird that I feel more comfortable with that than your real name, Gouache.
Gouache, not Gouache?
Not Gouache. I'm going to go Gouache.
It's Gouache.
Continuing the Gouache theme, continuing the metal iconography theme. Gouache is amazing. Their music is probably terrible, but just them as an idea are pretty good. So the captain pack are the best idea, in my view. I bought one of those. I bought one of the league packs. Please.
League pack, the $275 one?
I paid $250 for it.
Oh, wow.
For what it's worth. So I got a deal. Look at that. Steals and deals, Gouache. We got it on the floor. Good job, buddy. So I'm digging into their plans a little bit more, and I honestly, this ties into the lore thing. I haven't done that very often, so I don't have a good baseline for what a good preliminary white paper is. When you start with just a Google Doc that's like not formatted, I get a little nervous. When you start with a Word document that's in a really weird format, I get a little bit more nervous. So their plans for the leagues are okay. I think they can get it done. I'm bullish because whoever, the mod in there mentioned, hey, I'm reviewing resumes tomorrow for a position with us. What does that mean? I have no idea. The bottom line is I got into this because I like fantasy football, and then I got into Top Shot, and then it was fantasy football, then crypto, then Top Shot, which was the current intersection of those two things. And now it's football plus NFTs. So the interesting part here is, and I don't know how this is resolved, you don't own like Trevor Lawrence's NFT. You own Jacksonville's QB1 NFT.
Right, I saw that somewhere. I'm trying to find. That's what I'm trying to find. That's what I'm clicking around here. Here we. Nope, these are the packs. Mastering the cards.
We
got 16 positions here.
And they combine defense and kicker, which they're saying is novel, but it's not. Okay.
Oh, there's defense, there's kicker, and then there's defense plus kicker. You got 5 rarities.
Oh.
So tell me about this, because I heard you guys before. I did not jump into this, but before I looked at this, I was like, I heard you guys talking about captains and MVPs and GOATs, and I don't understand, like, what does the rarity do? Is it extra points? Is that what it says right here? Should I probably just keep reading?
Yes. As I cannot oversell how quickly I just bought these things. I barely know anything about it. So I want to just figure these things out as we go, and then see if I want to just dump my bags or if I want to hold them. I think it's honestly it's great that it's happening on Deadhead Day, because I feel comfortable holding now, because I've made like Deadheads have paid for this easily. If we convert the Deadhead to Ether to USD. So I'm comfortable holding these and just seeing where it goes.
All right, I was trying to find, like, I saw pictures somewhere of what these like QB1, like what the graphics look like, but now I can't find it. So I'm just going to stop sharing this, and then
Sure.
we'll,
Yeah, Justin, aka Jay Birdie Bird, you are correct. It has got to be a way to have a proxy for licensing. I don't know. I don't want to say get around. I don't know. Whatever. I'm weird like that. But yeah, it absolutely is. But how do you determine QB1? Like, how do you determine RB1? Melvin Gordon goes down with an ACL on the second play. So is Javonte the RB1, or is it by just raw stats? Are we like, I like this idea if it's best ball within a team, but then you're really just playing with a team versus a player, in my view, at least.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I mean, would you still want to have the Bears QB1, or would you rather have the Chiefs QB1? Like, on the one hand,
it's different game theory.
Right. Well, it's a little bit different, but it's also more of it boosts your floor a little bit, right? If you have Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, let's say in a best ball, right? Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, you're kind of screwed. But if you have the Chiefs QB1, you've got more floor there, because no, it's not Patrick Mahomes, but if it's Chad Henne, or I don't remember who their backup is now, whoever it is that comes in, you're at least going to get some points, and it can save you at least a little bit. As opposed to if you're choosing between Chicago QB1 and you have to really hope Justin Fields hits, because otherwise it's either a bad player in Justin Fields or Andy Dalton. And like, who really wants Andy Dalton? So I think that's part of the intrigue. It's kind of cool, but it is a good point. Like, how do you consider, or a wide receiver one? Like, if I have a wide receiver 1 on one team or wide receiver 2 on another team, how do I know? Like, if you've got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, right? If I have the Tennessee wide receiver 1 and you have the Tennessee wide receiver 2, we could both be thinking that we're going to get the same player's points when we're not. So that's where the problem comes in that you bring up, Tom. One other thing I want to mention, since Justin just posted here, is, well, 2 things I want to mention. Number 1 is, it is definitely weird because I'm not used to people having real names. I'm used to Jay Birdie Bird and Gouache, not Greg and Justin. And I was actually thinking, and this is segueing into number 2 point, that it's weird that to some extent I know these people are friends' kids' names better than their own names, because shout out to Justin. Congratulations. He just had a baby girl this past week. We're all happy for you. Her name is Nora. And I knew her name was Nora before I knew that the J stood for Justin, which was just now on stream.
That's correct. Gouache, that's correct. Doing the due diligence on your bags. They sign it on the day of the game.
This is why we need Gouache.
Yeah, so I am interested to see. I'm not trying to just ask the same question again, but how do you determine that on the day of the game, right? It's whose projections are they going to use, basically, because that's what it's going to be. All right, briefly, I want to talk about Green Rabbit. We discussed it a little bit last week, but we want to do it again. I want to do it again because I still don't know anything about it. It's another staking game where you can casually and passively get income. I'm a little intimidated, though, because they explicitly say you got to learn the lore to figure out the game, and it's going to reward effort. We've got a lot of dads in the chat. We don't have that much time for effort. We just do things quickly and then hope for the best. Not great. But some bull signs here. They're in talks with EA and Bungie, whatever that is, to talk about something. That's all that they listed in the document. Is in talks with EA and Bungie. I remember seeing this on the Atomic Hub website, and I was turned way off just because of the iconography of it, the 420 stuff. Nothing about marijuana. Just like, this doesn't seem like a real project. I don't want to deal with it. Their timeline is also extremely vague. They expect to have gameplay by the end of 2021. We are in the middle of 2021. So if we're comparing to RPLANET is far ahead. I'm not saying that they should be in the same stage, but that seems very far away for any sort of gameplay for Green Rabbit. And then in 2022, could be the beginning, could be the end. I work for a software company, so if you don't pin down a date, then it can be very confusing. So when we say we're going to release a feature in July, we have to say early July or July 31st. It normally means the end of July if we just say July. So this might mean the end of 2022, which is in 18 months. So that'd be a problem if tower defense and PvP for them, whatever that looks like, is coming in 2022. But let's zoom back into the near term. They have a drop coming on July 13th. So wax flippers, wax hodlers, this could be an opportunity for you all. 11 a.m. Eastern for folks who are early adopters. I think you would have already been one of those. You had to have already bought something from them. And then noon Eastern for people who are whitelisted in their Discord. So that's one project to look out for next week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whitelist here, so I have not looked into it, and I guess I might be, on the back end, I might even be too late, but I filled out. So if you go to their website, you go to whitelist, you put in your Wax wallet and your email and click subscribe. I'm hoping that that's all you need to do to get whitelisted, because that's all that I did. But it looks like I've got a lot of work to do, because there's this whole lore that apparently I need to read, and a roadmap that when I click on it, it pulls up a PDF that took forever to load. So we'll see. Apparently I've got a lot to learn on this because I haven't looked into it yet. But it's cool that there's more staking games. I mean, RPLANET was the first. Hopefully, pump our own bags. It'll still, be the early mover, and we'll get, a lot of benefit over that long term. But if you were, not in early on RPLANET, if you're watching us just for us and not because you like RPLANET and want to get into something else where you're really in on the ground floor, check out Green Rabbit. I'm going to check it out, but yeah, as of right now, I don't know nearly enough about it.
Okay. I think we've teased enough here. So I'm learning a lot about Jacob, like we've mentioned before, as we go through this process of learning how to stream together. And Jacob's like, hey, Tom, what if we double up the names on this wheel? I'm just betraying confidence. I don't even know if this was in confidence or not. Hey, because we didn't get that many people. That's fine. Who cares? That's the point. The point is we don't have that many people. We're trying to get more. So let's reward these people that are in the ground floor of Rated RPLANET instead of Green Rabbit. And we'll give away some Aether per hour. Remember, this is for fireworks. Go ahead.
I mean, it still looks nicer if you've got a more full wheel and the math is the same. It's the same probability of winning if your name is in there. If everyone's name is doubled or tripled, it's the same odds.
I mean, that's true. All right, hold on. Let's do this. All right, let's share. We're almost there, I promise.
Are you now going back and doubling it now that you
No, I wouldn't do that. It didn't work. Anyway, that's great. We're gonna wheel it.
All right, let's do it. Let's spin this wheel.
Look at the wheel. Look at this excitement.
Let's go. Drum roll.
Irish JH New York 33.
Fireworks for the fireworks. I think he's in. I don't think you're in that Discord, in Jeff's other Discord. And I think he told me that he's going to be watching later. So shout out to you that you are. Let me look up what he said. He said he had a good reason to miss this. So you're still going to win. I just need to find what you said and call you out on it. Said Monday nights are hard with the kids while his wife is teaching. So kudos to you. Just like the rest of us kids, your kids are watching. Or you are watching them. Hopefully they're not just watching you. His wife is teaching, so he is watching the kids, but he's going to watch it. He said he's going to watch it later for sure. So that's a view that's coming later, and not going to tell him before.
If you don't watch it
until he watches this.
Yeah, Irish. If you don't watch it, I'm keeping the 125 Aether per hour. Okay, I'm going to feed my family with that Aether per hour.
Yes,
sir. All right, Jacob.
Congrats. Cheers to you. I'm gonna. This is how we tease our invention attempt. I got a second drink here, and
that was. See, I don't have any of that here, but I love it. I was actually sad. Like 10 minutes before the show, I'm like, I don't have any props. I don't have anything to go off of. I liked eating pickles on this stream because we were gonna We were talking about the fucking pickles. I liked that they were the Willis pickles. That was enjoyable for me. So let's see.
All right, so
I'm trying to learn how to vamp, and I'm failing at it.
that's all right. Shout out to AMT, another person whose real name I don't know. He used to be Agent Mayhem. Now he's AMT. So don't know where the T came from, but I'm assuming the A is still for Agent and the M is for Mayhem. He donated to the show, to our cause, gave me more than enough Aether. And I asked him, I said, well, what do you want me to do with this? Like, do you want any say? He goes, nope, this is just goodness of my heart. He didn't use those words. I'm putting those words in his mouth. But he said, goodness of my heart, giving you Aether. Just, if you don't use all of it, keep it for next time. If you do use all of it, good. Whatever, if you invent, do whatever you want with it. I trust that you're going to do the right thing. So shout out to AMT. Thank you. And this, my friends, is the peatiest scotch I could find. No, we're not using whiskey tonight, but we will be using peat in our invention attempt, which, Tom, can you go through your thought process? Because you just said, I've got a good feeling about this. Here's what you should try. But this was your idea, and you're the one with the good feeling. So tell us, what are we trying to invent here?
So we're going for crude, which we believe stands for crude oil, correct?
Yes.
And the key ingredient that I believe is here is peat, because and here's why. Peat is an accumulation of partially decayed vegetation or organic matter. So the decaying is the important part here, because the whole process to get to petroleum or crude oil, per Wikipedia, this is all the research I do, is that it's a decaying of organic matter. And peat is already decaying, so we're getting there. We're getting to this spot. And also, I want to pull up our chat because I mentioned it to you, Jacob, but there was recently an attempt that was very close to what we're going to try, and it failed. But the thesis of the play is the same. So let me find that very quickly.
While you find that, to your point, I think that just using Wikipedia is not a bad thing, because think about it. These developers, what do they know about crude oil? What do they know about, inventing how to build a Lamborghini, which they call a Lambo? I mean, there's only two ways that they can do it. Either they can just pull it out of their ass, which is what they must have done, like as a joke, but making 4 shits equal gold, and also calling it shit as opposed to like dung or poop or anything else.
Yeah.
So that's number one. But number two is the other way they could do it is the same way we are. They don't know what makes up a cell. They don't know what makes up bacteria. So they Google it. They go to Wikipedia, and we can sort of hope that the way that they do it is the way that we're doing it. And I mean, who knows? It's Laden things. It's a crazy giant game of Laden things.
Before we get to the invention, which will be a walk-off, whether we invent correctly or not. And actually, I'm going to remove that just in case someone's trying to stream snipe us. They're going to invention snipe us.
Well, I just checked with the lieutenant. Anyone who wants to do any inventing, you can DM, you can private message on Discord, Lieutenant Raccoon, and it's /recipe, and then put in the 4 elements. He will tell you whether it's been tried, whether it's been succeeded or failed, and how much it costs, broken down per item, per element, and then totaled, and what the potential staking values would be if it's successful. So DM Lieutenant Raccoon if you want to get serious about inventing.
We'll add onto the framework, and then we'll do the invention right after I tell you what the failed one was. Just for, I doubt they're stream snipers. There's not that many people watching, but I would be sick if somebody sniped this, and it actually worked. So I've been mostly working forwards in my head as far as the invention thinking goes. We should also work backwards, because they would have Bitcoin. They'd say, yeah, Bitcoin, that should be one. And then they would work backwards to figure out how to build it together. We should not think, in my view, we should not think what builds to Bitcoin, but it's what would be decomposed from Bitcoin. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's just a new way to think about it that just hit me on stream as far as an idea goes. All right. So the failed attempt was heat, peat, pressure, which was tried and failed 13 days ago. So to make crude oil or petroleum, you need heat, you need pressure, you need maybe peat, which is decomposing like plant matter, because plant already was tried here. And then it's between stone, really. It's within stone. So that's what Jacob's going to try.
Here we
Let's see
go.
what we go with.
Walk off. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. We will see you at our usual time, Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Let's see if we get the pig.
One more thing, Jacob. We've been forgetting to do this. Follow us on Twitter, at Dangyewing over here, at Jacob T. Cohen. For Jacob.
The JT Cohen. That's my handle is
right.
Here. Follow me at the JT Cohen. When I first signed up for Twitter, there were, guess, way too many Jacob Cohens. There were so many different handles that I tried, and this is what I found. So I might need to just come up with some nickname that works. But for right now, that's what it is. It's the JT Cohen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Like, subscribe, comment,
all those good things. And here we go. Let's hope that we have a miracle and not a pig.
Let's hit it. Pig? No pig. Ah, pig.
Pig. Good night, everyone. We'll try next week. See you next time.